Students across Scotland are being told they will be breaking the law if they leave their student accommodation and return home to see their families.
Yeah, that comes after a significant outbreak at the University of Glasgow, where 172 students have tested positive. More than 600 students are now self-isolating. Well, we spoke to students Nell and Lucy Owens on the programme earlier this week. They've now sent us a video diary of their few days in lockdown.
We have a sign.
A sign saying so no one can come in, and then this is our kitchen where we have been spending a lot of time. The weekend is a bit weird, just kind of feeling like you've got nothing to do, you can't go anywhere, and like having a Friday night just sitting there in the kitchen.
And it's got to the point where we're looking out the window and we see people walking past and we're like, oh, what's going on? We get so excited just like at the sight of like another person walking past.
And we got a delivery of hot food from the university, so very happy.
We're each getting £50, which is really good.
And the month off rent, we're all very, very glad for, because it's just, especially because we are having to spend more on kind of shopping, especially with the Deliveroos, for when one of our food orders got cancelled.
They're going to actually come round and make sure everyone's doing okay. And what else did they say in the email? They were saying about they were going to help us like with washing, like give us some supplies for that.
Bring us fresh towels if we need them, and maybe some fresh bedding, because obviously we've all been here for a while and stuff is getting a little bit unclean.
Thank you to Nell and Lucy. They're getting on really well, being forced into one another's companies 24/7, but I guess it could go either way, couldn't
And so soon in the university term, because that's a challenge. You don't necessarily know these people that you get put in a flat with, and then actually you can go out normally and make other friends.
Yeah.
You kind of get lumped in with these people whether you like it or not.
They're
in this
doing really
scenario.
well with it though, aren't they? Glasgow University say they'll be giving students who live in their accommodation 1 month's free rent in sort of recognition of the difficulties they're going
they'll
through.
also get about £50, and they're going to be encouraged to use that to get food deliveries sent to them, because clearly they can't go out. Well, we can speak now to the Chief Operating Officer of Glasgow University, Dr. David Duncan. Good morning to you. So we were hearing there from two students and their experience of living through this, and we can all see why the precautions are necessary to keep those students inside. But I wonder whether you were taken back by the speed at which this had happened. Perhaps inevitable that some students would get it, but quite how many is a surprise?
I think that's a fair point. We were surprised at how quickly, obviously some students came. We've had students at Glasgow for 2 weeks since the weekend of the 13th of September. I guess some students came with COVID, and it spread through socialising and contact in flats over the next few days. So yes, we have got a very significant number of cases. As you said earlier, over 600 isolating. We've also got students in quarantine, because we've got students who've come from overseas who have to do 2 weeks in quarantine, a very similar experience, and it's up to us to support them as best we can.
Yeah, I want to talk about that support, because you talk there about, in the first 2 weeks, many students from further afield, including those from within the UK who will be in a new city for the first time, maybe away from their parents for the first time. What support is there to make sure that they are okay?
So we have the students in your piece there mentioned some of the things that we're doing. We're trying to make sure, obviously, that students have access to food. Most students order food from supermarkets, and there are constant vans visiting the residences from Tesco and Waitrose and all the rest of it. But some students struggle to get slots with the supermarkets, so we're trying to make sure that they've got emergency supplies of food. Access, as the student said there, to fresh towels and linen if they can't get out of their flats. Also making sure that they've got advice on things like medical issues and well-being issues as well. So we have 24-hour support online on well-being issues, and obviously a team of counsellors that students can speak to as well. So we're doing everything we can, I think, to support students through what is obviously a difficult period.
You talked there about the food parcels to help, also rent rebates in some cases because they are stuck in that accommodation. They don't have the opportunity to get out. Lots of calls, increasing calls now for refunds on university fees because they're not able to go to those face-to-face lectures that they're paying for.
Yes, actually all students in university residences are going to enjoy that month rent rebate. We felt these conditions are affecting everybody, whether they're isolating or not. Scottish students, undergraduate students, don't actually pay fees. So that wouldn't really apply for them, but other students do pay fees. We do think that the quality of the blended learning experience that we're offering, which is largely online, let's be honest, is going to be high quality. And so we're not sure that call for a tuition fees rebate ought to apply.
Wasn't this all horribly inevitable, that there would be an outbreak at universities? We know that students live in close quarters. They want to go out and socialise. That is part of the university experience. Should they have been encouraged to go to university at a time like this?
Well, many universities have given students the choice about whether they study online from home, from their own bedrooms, if you like, or go to their university towns and cities. And most students, I think, do want to go to their universities, even under the present difficult circumstances, partly for social reasons, but also for academic reasons. It's easier to sustain a difficult university degree program when you have the company of other learners with you. So I think in many ways we've responded to student demand. In terms of the speed of the rise of COVID cases, I think it's probably fair to say that the UK and other countries have been surprised at the speed at which that's developed. But let's be honest, it was developing before students came back to university.
And beyond this, if we look slightly longer term, we know, of course, everyone's searching for a vaccine that would help in so many different scenarios. But as far as university is concerned, talk to me about how you stop this happening again, that we don't have an entire year, a university year, of students being locked up in their halls of residence.
Well, let's hope there is a vaccine at some point in the near future. I mean, I think university students are like the rest of us. They have the same rights and obligations as other citizens. We all have to play our part, I think, in trying to prevent the spread of COVID, even if we're asymptomatic, if we test positive, but have very mild or no symptoms at all. And that's actually the case with many students who have tested positive. So I think the best we can do is to keep reminding students of the government rules, make sure that we and students follow those rules and give them every support through this difficult period.
Yes, a lot of work ahead, I'm sure. Dr. David Duncan, it's good to talk to you this morning, the Chief Operating Officer there at the University of Glasgow. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.